Hi everyone, and welcome back. I know it's been quite a minute, and I apologize for the long wait for the new video, but I had been tackling some things, a lot of busyness with family and life, and figuring out some things, especially with how I want to do the format for future videos. So hopefully this new format is interesting to you. I was thinking I would like to get back into video games, and if not video games, then like I said, art time lapses maybe in the future, if I am able to. And I want them to be the staple background, something moving, but I don't want to just keep putting manga panels on the screen or stills of anime or try to get the perfect 5-second cut of an anime, if that makes sense. I think I'm just more comfortable when it comes to just yapping. So the main goal is just for me to yap, and maybe a video game will be in the background or in art time-lapse. We shall see. I don't know how it'll go, but we shall see. Maybe one day, because I am starting to get back into art, and I'm starting to try to get back into some other hobbies. I did say that I would try to incorporate books into my topics, so we'll see how I feel about that moving forward. I haven't really dove too deep into what that would be. I did have some books in mind, but I've already finished them, and I don't know if I really want to revisit them. It's not that they weren't good enough to revisit, it's just I like to move on, right? So I kind of want to do that, and that's also part of the reason why I've been struggling with making videos lately. I'll consume something and then I'll move on pretty quickly, so it's really difficult for me to just sit there and just edit a video for a very, very long time. So hopefully this will help me with getting my feet off the ground and just getting content to you guys easier or earlier, probably right after I just finished a series. It'll be easier for me to talk about too. So with that being said, thank you so much for being here again. And this is my 2025 into early 2026 watch and read manga and anime. I hope you guys enjoy. I know it took me quite a while to make this, and that's why it bled into 2026, early 2026, which was technically January, since we're in February now, and hopefully that's not too bad. I'm really excited to talk about some of these series with you guys today, and maybe some of them we'll get into a deeper yap session or a deeper dive some other time. But yeah, with that being said, have a cup of coffee or two and join us for the anime and manga I have watched, read, and possibly DNF'd in 2025 to 2026. Just to note, this isn't a perfect list. I may have forgotten some anime, and I realized there was some manga that I did forget, but I mean, that's okay. We're not perfect. So let's get into the anime, the manga that I checked out in 2025 into 2026. So some of these are going to bleed over into early 2026 because it did take me a while to make this. I do want to talk about some of the stuff that I'm currently consuming and checking out, so I hope you guys don't mind that. So to start off, we will talk about the anime that I have watched, and we will talk about a couple of the ones that I have DNF'd / did not finish at the very end. And I want to just round up all of the ones that I've watched and go into, not them individually, but talk about a few that have piqued my interest that I think are worth discussing, right? For the anime that I have watched, I have checked out Ron Kamonohashi's Forbidden Deductions, Dandadan Season 1 and Season 2, Virgin Punk Clockwork Girl Episode 1, Chainsaw Man Reze Arc, the movie, Frieren Season 1 and Season 2, Apothecary Diaries Season 1, May I Please Ask for One More Thing, the full first season. I don't know if there will be a second season. I have watched Bungo Stray Dogs Season 1 to Season 3. I have finished all of Reincarnated as a Slime Monster. That was a hyperfixation for a while. Well, I haven't finished Shugochara, but I did watch a bit of the anime, and I am down to the last 2 final volumes of Shugochara. I am also in the middle of Gachiakuta, the first core. I think I'm in the first core still. I could be in the second core, but I forgot. We did also check out the Boy and the Heron movie. I really like that new Studio Ghibli movie. It was very interesting. I did finish Clear Card Arc, Cardcaptor Sakura, Season 1. And then we have Zenshu, as you guys all know. Then I also rewatched Panty and Stocking with Garter Belt with my community, all of Season 1. And then for the ones that I did not finish, we will talk about those later. So the ones that I do want to pick out and talk about is Ron Kamonohashi's Forbidden Deductions. This was primarily season 1. I'm in the middle of season 2 right now. This is a very fun, I would say, Sherlock Holmes and Watson-esque kind of show. So if you're really interested in mystery and thriller, and you want to just maybe solve the mystery, this is like an Agatha Christie book, but come to life, but on crack, right? It's really fun. It can be campy at times. And I do find Ron to be a very interesting detective. His mindset is very, how do I explain it? He keeps the cards very close to his chest. But then he also talks it out with his partner, which is the other main lead. It's really fun. I feel like this is one of those shows that I put on whenever I'm too overwhelmed with things. This is a really good one. It doesn't feel extremely high stakes. I just really enjoy thrillers as a whole when it comes to genres, or like mystery thrillers specifically as a whole for genres. So I think this is one of those shows that I will definitely be enjoying for a long time. I know it has gone on to only season 2. I don't know if they'll be catching up all the way to the end of the manga. So maybe at the end of season 2, I will be reading the manga. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. And then there's not really much about most of these that I could say. Virgin Punk Clockwork Girl. That one frustrates me because those of you that do know, I did receive a little bit of a strike. An itty-bitty strike because of this anime. I made a video on it and I used too much footage, and then I tried to appeal it for fair use, and yeah, that happened. But I will say it's an interesting premise. It's a dystopian world where people will augment themselves and there are illegal augmentations. So bounty hunters hunt them down and receive money for killing them from the government. So it's really around this world where the main character was an orphan and her orphanage gets raided by these bounty hunters that are run by Mr. Elegance. And Mr. Elegance is a creep because he really likes young girls, and he becomes obsessed with the main character. So in turn, he takes the main character thinking he's gonna save her like many years later and forces her into an android body that mimics her younger self. Really crazy shit happens. So this show was really weird as well when it comes to the distribution of it. When you go to the website for like AMC or any movie theater, it'll say it is an hour-and-a-half long movie. It will not tell you anything about there being an interview with the director for like the other half of the movie, I would say. So once the episode finished, or once the episode was reaching a climax, we thought that was like the middle of the movie. No, that was the end of the fucking episode. So it turns out that this movie is not a movie, it is a show, and it'll be airing who knows when, because we never even got a release date for this show. So while it's interesting, while the premise is very gory and whatever, right? Because this director is known for making pretty gory and NSFW-esque shows and movies. It's just we don't know anything about it. Like, you were given a taste and then there's no reward, right? There's no specific reward, because I wouldn't say people are entitled to having a date or anything like that, but I feel like I would be remiss if I were not to complain about the fact that this whole distribution was just so messy and so confusing. Like, a lot of people I did see online were fighting back and saying like, oh, well, you would know that half of it was that it was just a premiere of a show, of an episode, if you checked out online or somewhere. But it's like, not everybody are going to do that, because I typically don't always look online for these things. Like, I was advertised this on YouTube, but the YouTube channel that advertised it to me was a Japanese only YouTube channel, so it's not like I could really understand what's going on. And I don't know, it's a very confusing situation. It's a very confusing distribution. I am looking forward to the series. I hope that it comes out sometime soon, because I have not seen an update for this, because I am getting Madoka Magic Walpurgisnacht. Is that how you say it? Like the third movie, right? Flashbacks, because just as that movie has been delayed many times, we haven't really seen much about this show either, or any announcements about the show. about Virgin Punk Clockwork Girl. So if anybody knows anything, please let me know. I would really love to know. A couple of the ones that I really, really liked was Apothecary Diaries. I love Mao Mao. She's so cute. And Jinshi. Okay, listen, I know that Jinshi's voice actor is Gojo, and that kind of did make me very excited. At least the English version. I don't know if it's still Gojo in the Japanese version. Yes, I'm a filthy dub watcher, okay? Fine. Sue me. I like it, okay? I like dub. But anyway. I like Mao Mao and Jinshi a lot, so I'm really happy. They're very cute. I do like Mao Mao as a main character, and Apothecary Diaries as a whole is a great investigative anime. I haven't checked out the manga yet, but I do want to. I caught up with all of season 1, and I need to catch up with season 2. So this is also a series that I have considered diving into later down the line once I have a better understanding of it, because it would be really, really fun to do a little yap fest about this and a little mini retelling and talk to people about it, because I would want more people to check out Mao Mao, and especially Jinshi. Yes, I have heard about the infamous frog scene. I haven't even gotten far in like the season 2 to be able to check it out. It's unavoidable, I will say. So, and then there's also May I Please Ask for One More Thing. So the funny thing about this one was I followed it when it first was being published. I think it was monthly, if I remember correctly. Yeah, I followed this when it was first being published. And then out of nowhere, I think I dropped it, because I typically do that. Whenever something's published monthly, I follow it for like a good minute, and then I just drop it because I'm just like, I can't keep waiting forever. And I get lazy just checking back and everything. I do not want to make myself reminders just to read a manga or anime. I prefer binging them. So to find out that it got a show was really surprising to me, and I was really happy because I really like Scarlet. Scarlet is a great main female character, and I do like the prince. I think it was Julius, right? Prince Julius or Julian, whichever one, and I'm really rooting for them. The guy screws up way too much. He needs to slow his roll. That's all I gotta say. Another great one is Gachiakuta. I think my friend actually got me into this one, and then because I started reading the manga first, and then I found out there was an anime coming out, and so I am now in the middle of the anime. I'm watching it with my husband. We're really enjoying it. I think that the fight scenes are so cool. It's so stylistic. I love how stylistic it is, especially in the manga. Oh, dude, the manga is the bee's knees. Oh, that sounds so freaking lame to say, but like, it's so good. It really is. The art style is what gets me. I do find the story interesting. I don't know. I feel like I'm still trying to wrap my head around what Rudius? Is it Rudy? Oh my god, did I mix him up with Rudo? Sorry, him and Mushoku Tensei, main character, very similar, right? Rudo. So Rudo's stuff is really, really intriguing just to see how he's going to continue this journey, right? So we'll see. As for the new Studio Ghibli movie, The Boy and the Heron, it's really cute. I do want to say it feels like a mix. What's the right word? It feels like a mix between Ponyo, Princess Mononoke, Spirited Away, and Howl's Moving Castle. Really confusing movie. I feel like I didn't understand. Okay, it's really beautiful, and I thought the story was beautiful. Like, okay, so I also watched Earwig and the Witch. I think that's what it's called, Earwig and the Witch. That one was interesting. It's their first 3D movie, and I thought I followed it pretty well. But The Boy and the Heron was so confusing. I gotta be honest. Great voice acting cast. Really beautiful. Studio Ghibli always knocks it out of the park, but the story. I wish I could tell you about the story, but I'm literally drawing a blank. All I can remember was there was an island where he, I think, met his mom? Or his stepmom. Oh, right. Okay, so the story was really about him reconciling and accepting his stepmom after his mom died. And his stepmom is actually his mom's, like, sister. So it's technically his aunt. So his aunt is his stepmom. Okay, it's a really confusing. It's a really, really confusing Studio Ghibli movie. I wish I could explain it. And then for me, for my magical girl show that I saw was Cardcaptor Sakura Clear Card. I'm really excited to jump into season 2 for this. I read a lot of the manga. I think I read in the manga up until maybe the last volume or the last 2 volumes. I think season 2 is going to adapt the rest of it, right? So I'm really looking forward to that, but we'll see. We'll see. I don't know. And then I spoke about Zenshu already. Bungo Stray Dogs was like a crazy time for me. I think I really go in and out when it comes to very long series like Bungo Stray Dogs and Reincarnated as a Slime Monster. I like to binge them because I know there's just so much. So for Bungo Stray Dogs, I'm still in the middle of it, and I think it's because every time I stop, I completely forget what happened. So I go back and I rewatch everything that happened. And I think Bungo Stray Dogs is one of those like shows where you kind of need to watch it in succession because there's so many little stories that happen. Because if I remember correctly, I believe season 2 or season 3 is about Dazai's like past, and the same thing with season 3 intro is another Dazai past, I believe. And it's so confusing because then it's like, okay, well, we're in a different part of the series and I don't really know where we truly are. So I end up having to rewatch the show. Like, I think I've rewatched the show like 5 times at this point and caught myself up to season 3 only just to not finish it. So one of these days I will sit down and finish it, and then I think we should do a little yap fest for it because it's an intricate little thing. And then I haven't even checked out Bad Apple. I haven't even checked out the other one. I forgot there was one. It was like an alternate universe where the main character is bad and then the other dude with the black hair with the vines coming out of his back or whatever is a good guy. I forgot their names. Oh my gosh, it's been so freaking long. But anyway, I did finish Reincarnated as a Slime Monster. At least I'm caught up until the new movie comes out. I treated that show as like a fun little binge fest. So how I actually got into Reincarnated as a Slime Monster was I wanted to read the manga more so than see the show. I wasn't really that impressed by the animation, so I wanted to read it. So I read it and it was so good. So then I also watched, and then after I watched it, then I went back to the manga and then I caught up with everything. So now I am a fan of Rimuru. I like Rimuru a lot. My favorite character would have to be Shion. She's really, really pretty and I like her a lot. She deserves more spotlight. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the new movie with them. And I think those are like the little thoughts for the shows that I do want to kind of talk about. Oh, there's also Shugochara. I think we'll be doing a little yap fest about it. Shugochara is one of those magical girl shows that I did not watch or read back in the day, but I have heard of, and I finally am starting to consume it because I'm starting to consume a lot of Peach Pit stuff like Rose and Maiden and Shugochara. So Peach Pit did the main art design for Anime Expo and a lot of the promo art. So I got really interested in checking out Peach Pit's works like Rose and Maiden and Shugochara because of that reason. And I was so surprised that I didn't get to Shugochara before. Shugochara actually kind of reminds me of that time where I saw Tokyo Mew Mew and stuff, so I wasn't unaware of it, I just never truly checked it out. I think I heard about Rose and Maiden more, and so I'm checking out Rose and Maiden right now, as well as Shugochara. One day we'll do a Yap Fest probably for Shugochara. I don't know if we will for Rose and Maiden, we'll see. But only time will tell, right? So we shall see how that goes. Then I also saw Chainsaw Man Reze Arc. So this one is so pretty. This was such a beautiful movie. I gotta say, Fujimoto makes such amazing stories. I don't know what's going on in Chainsaw Man right now. I heard a lot of people aren't happy, but I will have to say the Reze arc was so beautiful. Not just the animation, the cinematography, the choice of music, the bittersweetness of the unrequited love. Makima, you were such a bitch. It was so beautiful. This is one of those movies that really, really stuck with me. It was done so well. It deserved its top place in the box office, that's for sure. Really, really well deserved. And so we get to the not so fun part. We got to the ones that I have DNF'd, which is, Milady, please pass the monster meat. So this one I didn't finish. There's a couple of reasons. One, I found the premise so boring. It's so boring. It's just because she likes to eat monster meat and she's trying to make it more accepted because it'll help the famine that's happening around the country. And just the animation style, it gets very wonky at times, so I couldn't stick with it because of that. But also the characters are just so boring. Like the main love interest is so interested in her because she's not just pretty, but also because she's not scared of him, and then blah blah blah. If anything, can I be honest, this feels like one of those Kindle Unlimited book main characters made. Oh, the girl is disregarded by the whole country or despised by the whole country. The stepmother hates her, but then this prince picks her up and saves her and whisks her away and only has eyes for her, but is a brooding man, blah blah blah. And I'm just kind of like, I'm not super into this, I'm gonna be honest with you. And then my next life as a villainess. Okay, I feel like this one's so popular, but tell me why I've tried to get into the show like 2 or 3 times and I can't. I feel like it's very interesting as a premise, but I think I can't do harems that just keep going forever and there's no winning. I think it pisses me off way too much. I think there's nothing wrong with harems, but reverse harems too, it's just I don't know. There's a character I'm rooting for, it's the prince. I root for the prince, but like it's also so freaking annoying. I don't know, just something about the show just ticks me the wrong way. It doesn't sit with me well. If anybody's into it, please let me know why you like it, because that's fine. I'm not gonna judge you for liking it. I just personally cannot get into it. And those are the animes that I have checked out so far. There are probably way more, but I really don't remember them, so let's just jump straight into the other one. Now, let's get into the manga that I have read. So, some of it may be short. This list may be short, but that's mainly due to when I read manga, I like to binge a series. And as you know, there's a lot of chapters in a series, or a lot of volumes in a series. So, that's the reason why it took me. That's why there's not many names on the list, basically. So, let's start off. The guy she was interested in wasn't a guy at all. Colette Decides to Die, Witch Hat Atelier, Itchy the Witch, Witch Riv, Oran High School Host Club, Make the Exorcist Fall in Love. It's pretty much the same as When You Bite Your Tongue. I don't know if I'm gonna say it correctly. Shita Kanda Toki do Daitai Isho. Reincarnated as a slime monster. Another Shugochara. So those are the ones that I really liked and I did enjoy. The guy she was interested in wasn't a guy at all. As most of you know, or those of you that do know, it did start off on Twitter. I don't know if it was just Twitter specifically, but social media. This mangaka really grew her fan base through social media since she posted panels of the pages through social media. And that's how it grew in popularity and was able to get its own serialization. So, which is really cool. They still post it on Twitter to update like monthly. I don't know how that works, but it's really cool. Another one that I really enjoyed was Colette Decides to Die. I actually picked this up on a whim. I was just walking through Barnes & Noble and was like, oh, let me go check it out. So this one's a really fun one. Colette Decides to Die is kind of a spin on a Hades love story. We have Colette, who is an overworked apothecary, and she really was like, ugh, I wish I would pass away or something because I'm too tired, and falls into a wishing well after one long shift. In that wishing well, she thinks that she has passed away because it turns out that she fell into the underworld. The wishing well actually connects to the underworld, and she meets Hades. And she ends up becoming Hades' apothecary because he has some health complications that she helps tend to. And in this story, in this series, you see Hades and Colette tackle not just humanity, but also things that have to do with gods, and also start to fall in love. It's a very slow burn. It's so sweet. So if you're ever interested in a new twist to the Hades love story, like similar to the Persephone and Hades love story, this is a really great one, and I think it's very, very cute. I really like Colette. She's a fun one. And her interactions with Hades' henchmen are so fun. It's very quirky. Then we have Witch Rift. So Witch Rift is one of the newer titles that are coming out. I don't think there's many chapters for it out yet, but it's a very fun one. So basically in this world, magic is banned. And if you're found out to be a witch, you will be persecuted and you will be executed as well. There's a choice. You could either become a witch that hunts down other witches, I believe, or you are just, executed. So I'm curious as to how this is gonna go. I have not gotten very far. I've gotten 1 or 2 chapters in, so I've only met a second character, and I think it's really cool. And as you know, I did get through Ouran High School Host Club. So this one is actually really weird because I never got into this when I was a kid. All of my classmates did. A lot of my classmates were super into Ouran High School Host Club, and they would tell me like, oh, I love this character, I love that character. A lot of them love the twins. Yeah, especially after that scene with the thunder, a lot of people really fell for the twins, but I find it very confusing because as I went through it, Tamaki had that moment first. So I feel like a lot more people would be more inclined to Tamaki, but maybe it was just the craze of the orange-haired boy, because at the same time, Furuba, aka Fruit Basket, was a thing. And Kiyosoma, as we all know, my favorite, personally, has orange hair, so there's a chance that maybe it was like a whole orange hair phase thing. Make the Exorcist Fall in Love is very fun. I am reading this in and out because I'm not very good with keeping up with monthly manga. So this one is about an exorcist, and he doesn't really fall in love. He's just really obsessed with being a really, really good exorcist. I don't think I'm going to explain this correctly because it has been a hot minute since I've read this one, but I do remember liking it because of the art style. The art style I feel like is kind of similar to Soul Eater. At least in terms of how the characters are formatted and stuff. And I do find the premise very intriguing, where we have a demon who works underneath Satan. And in order for this demon to get their freedom from Satan, they must make the exorcist fall in love with them and execute them. And this is the strongest exorcist in the world, because this exorcist doesn't really care about anything. He's really good at determining what's a demon, because he has like this, I don't know if it's like a god eye or anything like that. I forgot what it was, but he has this ability to determine if something is a demon or not. And she is the only demon that is never detected. She has this weird ability where she cannot be detected. So she uses that as an opportunity to disguise herself as like a girl who's being targeted by demons and ask the exorcist to be her bodyguard. So that's how that goes, and it just goes through, like, he goes through many fights and all that. Really, really interesting stuff. I think there's a lot of provocative stuff, so I would say, I think there are some NSFW stuff, so I would really be cautious if you're not super into NSFW stuff. Yeah. And so I caught up with Reincarnated as a Slime Monster after I finished the show. I wanted to binge the manga, so I might be caught up. I know that I got up to, I think I might be 10 or 20 chapters behind. So I got caught up to wherever it was at the time, and I forgot where, but I liked it. I think that the manga is better executed than anime, and that has to do with the fact that I like the manga's art style more so than the anime art style. I feel like the anime art style is a little more, is skinnier the word? I don't know. I feel like it's a little thinner. I feel like they're not as detailed as they would be compared to the manga. But that's not, I don't know. That's just my personal opinion. Another one is Shugochara. So I watched a bit of Shugochara, and I'm pretty much caught up with Shugochara up until the last 2 volumes. And once I'm finished with that, I do want to talk about that with you guys. I am loving my journey into the Peach Pit universe. So my first one was Shugochara, and it's really cute. I think the guy that I like, his name is Ikuto, right? The cat guy. He's really cute. I like him a lot. It's a nice story. It's a nice coming of age story. So if you're just looking for that nostalgic 2000s shoujo with that coming of age story, this is definitely the series for you. And so those are a few of the ones that I really thought was interesting to talk about. Oh, Ichi the Witch. Ichi the Witch is so good. Ichi the Witch has become one of my favorite shonen mangas. I think it's my favorite current ongoing manga, shonen manga specifically. I think it's so funny how the main character is so barbaric. He's like just a wild child, like a Peter Pan in the wild that just was given the opportunity to become a witch. And I love his teacher. I love she's my favorite character. Gosh, I can't believe I forgot her name. I only remember Ichi's name because duh, Ichi the witch. But my favorite character has to be his teacher. She's the strongest witch, I think, of them all, and I think Ichi is working towards surpassing her, not like purposely, but I think that's what his purpose is. I think he's going to become one of the greater witches. So it's really, really interesting, and it's just a fun story. So basically, Chi is a hunter and he loves to hunt things, and one day he just comes across one of the strongest magical being monsters at the time. And while his master slash teacher is fighting the monster, he ends up beating the monster instead, and that monster becomes his familiar, and he becomes the first ever male witch because of this. No one knows how this even came to be or how this was even possible, but it's assumed it's because the monster, because each monster has their own resistance and reasons why you can't beat them. This monster specifically could not be beaten by women. Very funny to say, very crazy to say too, but this monster specifically could not be beaten by women, so somehow Ichi was able to beat him and was able to become a witch because of that, and became the first male witch. And in time, he becomes a more proper witch, and he decides to become a full witch because his teacher was like, do you like hunting? And he's like, yeah, I love hunting all kinds of like whatever, right? That's like his obsession. He loves to hunt. So she's like, if you stick with me, you can hunt all the monsters you want, the magical monsters you want. And he's like, oh my god, I love it. I want to hunt them all. I just want to destroy them all, which is so funny. And that's kind of his that's his thing. And I don't need to talk about Witch Hat Atelier because you guys know how much I love that. I made a whole video on it, so if you're ever inclined to check it out, you can. And so we got another, and then I did a rewatch of another. I think I've talked about all of the ones that I've pretty much like. I could talk about It's pretty much the same as When You Bite Your Tongue. There's only about 3 chapters, I think, out at the moment. I like it. It's a josei, I will say that. It's a josei about a old mangaka, not old mangaka, but a mangaka who has retired because she doesn't feel inspired to create manga anymore. And she runs into her biggest fan, who is also an editor, and in time they kind of grow close and start to inspire one another, and the mangaka wants to start picking up her pen for fans like the editor, not realizing that there are people out there who really love her and cheer for her. It's really cute. It's a very sweet story. You can get emotional. There are some parts that's very sad, but I think it's nice. And so for the ones that I DNF'd, oh man, this is where we get to the part. There's only 2 that I DNF'd. So the first one, wait, no, actually there's only 1. Okay, I wrote it twice. Why did I write it twice? Anyway, I DNF'd the case study of Vanitas. Yeah, that's crazy, right? I think a lot of people like this one, and I know a coworker also suggested this one to me. I don't know what it was, but I didn't like it. I think it's because I didn't like the main character. And I'm not saying I am gonna say it. The main character is annoying. Vanitas is so annoying. And I think my issue with it is, despite how beautiful, it's a really, really pretty and really well-drawn piece of manga. Something about the premise doesn't sit well with me. I like how it opened. Where it's like, this is the story of how I killed Vanitas. I thought that was very intriguing, very interesting, where you know at the end Vanitas is going to die, right? So that's cool. But something about Vanitas really rubs me the wrong way. He's so irritating. He's like an annoying little brother, but if you had 2 of them or 3 of them, and he doesn't know how to handle himself. So that's the main reason why I dropped this one. I just did not like the main character. I feel like if you don't like the main character, you just drop it, right? I don't think it's worth putting yourself through something. There's so much content in the world that if anybody gets mad at you for like DNFing things, or dropping things, or saying like you're not a real something fan because you didn't consume every single piece of media of that thing, don't listen to anybody. There is only so much time you get in this world, and most of the time Most people are spending it working because you need to pay the bills, right? So if you just make yourself read or watch something that you hate after having such a long day, you could have the most ass day at work. You are making things worse for yourself and you're never going to be happy. Like, don't force yourself to do things that you don't want. Like, don't force yourself to do or consume things that you think you would never want to check out again. And that's my little side piece on why I say DNFing is good, and that's okay. And also, you can always rehome them. I mean, you could go to your local bookstore downtown or anything, trade them in for credits and get a new book or a new manga, whichever. Or you could sell them, or you could regift them. There's nothing wrong with regifting them. Maybe you have a cousin who, or sister or whatever, friend who's like, oh, I want to try that manga, but I can't afford it. And then you're like, oh, I didn't like this manga, but my friend wanted to try it. Hey, that's an idea. And that was pretty much everything I had consumed in 2025 up until early 2026. I don't think that's everything, because I do realize I skipped a few animes or manga or books that I was going to talk about or think about. So, you know, maybe next time we'll talk about them for sure, or I'll make a better and more accurate list, right? I'm so excited to keep doing this kind of format. I hope you guys enjoy my little Yap Fest that are coming up and the way that I will be presenting these stories to you guys. So don't worry if you really enjoyed my deep dives. That's basically what we're going to be doing here on out. We're going to be doing some deep dive storytelling, retelling thing. And you guys are going to get all my thoughts, the way that I retell the stories, the way I retell all the anime, the manga, all that. We're still going to be doing that. I like yapping. You know me, I can't stop yapping. It doesn't end. With that being said, have a wonderful day or night, wherever it is you are. Bye!
It's time to go, the stars say hi. Another day just drifted by. Thanks for watching, you're so sweet. Let's meet again where dreams repeat.